we have 4 different market phases. So the first phase is accumulation, the second phase is markup, the third phase is distribution, and the fourth phase is downtrend, or you can say markdown. Okay. Now let's see how all these market phases looks on the blackboard, and then we'll see the same thing on the real chart, because that's how it will make more sense. So first we'll understand the theory, and then we see the practical. This is how it's going to be. Great. Now, as I said, we have 4 different market phases. The first phase is accumulation. So in accumulation phase, generally the market moves sideways like this. We will share all the drawings that I am making right now with the in the Telegram group, I believe. So this is accumulation. First phase, accumulation, the market is moving sideways. Great. Once accumulation phase is completed, the market will shift into the second phase, which is a markup phase. Okay. Maybe like this, something like this. Okay, this is second phase, markup. Now it's about mindset, as I said. Okay, in the beginning of the class, I told you our goal is to create a mindset of a trader. Now, as a trader, when you see a chart, your mind automatically starts to find out patterns. How can I figure out patterns in this one, basically? So the pattern is very simple in this one. See, as the market is moving up, the graph is making a higher high. See, each high is higher than the previous one, and also each low is higher than previous low. Okay, so that means the market is making a higher high, a higher low, and one more important thing. You see how the market is moving up and then coming down. See this area? This is what we call correction. And these are healthy correction. This is not an unhealthy correction. People generally say if the market is moving downward, then people generally believe that it's a bad thing for the market, but it's not. Okay, it's a healthy correction. Okay, we don't want the market to move in a single direction like this, or maybe like this. These things are unhealthy, not this one. Okay. Great. Now, okay. So the pattern of second phase is very simple. The market must make a higher high, a higher low, and a small proper correction. Now, the pattern of second phase is also very simple. The pattern of first phase is also very simple. In the accumulation phase, the market must not make any kind of higher high or any kind of lower low. It must just go sideways. Okay. Now let's talk about, so once the second phase is completed, the market will enter into the third phase. So in third phase, the market will go parabolic. That is the third phase. Distribution. Now in distribution, the market will go parabolic. Why? Or the market will go basically moving the direction. Why? Because of greed, because of FOMO, because everyone is buying, that's why I have to buy, something like that. Okay. Now, so the market will move up basically. And also you need to understand this market are like nature. So if you leave the oceans, let's say if you leave the ocean for 1 or 2 years, the ocean will automatically starts to clean itself. Okay, it will automatically starts to correct itself. Or if you just leave the wildlife free for 1 or 2 years, okay, just do not make any kind of manipulation in that, then it will automatically try to clean itself. Okay, just like that in the market, if you leave the market for a few months or few years, it will automatically correct itself. Okay, but now what happens here, the market is moving up and we have a very high buying pressure, very large buying pressure. So of course the market, as I said, it will try to correct itself, but then because we have a huge amount of buying pressure, the market won't be able to correct itself, and again it will start to move in the upper direction. Okay, so in this one, the market will make a higher high, the market will make a higher low, but without any type of correction. Okay, so that is the pattern of third phase. Now, once the third phase is completed, the market will enter into the fourth phase, which is something like this. something like this. So basically this is our fourth phase. This is what we call a markdown, or you can say downtrend, whatever. Now in the pattern of downtrend or the markdown phase is very simple. The market must make a lower high, a lower low, and also with a proper correction. Doesn't matter if the market is moving up or the market is moving down, it has to make some kind of correction. The market cannot move in a single direction for a large period of time. So in this one, we are picking a lower high, a lower low, and a correction. Now the correction will look like something different. So this is the correction. See, this is going to be the correction. See right here and see right here. So this is the pattern of fourth phase. Now once all the four phases gets completed, a one market cycle is completed. Okay. So let me just draw one straight line. One market cycle is completed from this point to this point. Now you might have this one question in your mind, that why we are even understanding all this stuff, why it is important as a trader. It is important as a trader because it makes you think in terms of pattern. That is the first thing. Second thing, with each market phase we are going to use different strategies. So in markup phase we are going to use different strategies, in the markdown phase we are going to use different strategies. So that is important, and that's why we are even understanding about this. It doesn't matter if you're an investor or a trader, if you know how the market moves or how the emotions work, you can understand, or you can basically use this information in your advantage. Okay, now if one market cycle is completed, okay, so now let's understand. The previous market cycle of Bitcoin took 4.5 years. So it is not like it will not end in terms of month. Okay, it will take years. It's a long-term process. So let's go to the real chart and let's see how this all things look. We are using Binance chart. We don't have that much data on Binance. So let's use a Coinbase chart. Okay. So this is a Coinbase chart. And we have a data from 2015 to till now, to the current day. Now let's divide this chart into two parts, vertical and till here. Okay. So this is the current market cycle. We will talk about the current market cycle if we have time, of course. And this is the previous market cycle. Okay. The current market cycle is not completed yet, so that's why we are not talking about it right now. Okay. But the previous market cycle has already completed. And as I said, the previous market cycle took 4.5 years, particularly for Bitcoin. Okay. And you can clearly see in this one, the market started from January 2015 till 26th May. Or you can see in the month of May 2019. How much time it took? It took 4.5 years, approximately 4.5 years, you can see. Okay, now let's see the phases. Very simple. I think we can clearly see on the chart. The first phase, see right here. First phase, the market is moving sideways, okay, and not making any kind of higher high and any kind of lower low. Then what happens? Slowly, the market starts to move in the upward direction by making higher highs. See, also higher lows, plus with a proper correction. This is important. This is very important. A higher high, a higher low with a proper correction. And if you remember, that is a pattern of second phase markup. Okay. So till now, till here, I think everything is working fine. Till this point, till November 2017, you can clearly see we are making a higher high, a higher low, and correction. Just 1 second. Okay, so in this one, we are making higher highs, higher lows, and a proper correction. That means we are still in the second phase, which is important, right? What happened after that? See this one. After that, once Bitcoin broke the 8,000 mark, like this one, the market went parabolic. Okay, and you see these two green or these two red candlesticks. So for 2 consecutive days, the market tried to correct itself. I told you right here. See, the market tried to correct itself this area. Okay, but the FOMO, fear of missing out, or the greed is so much that market is not able to correct itself, and then it goes parabolic. And that is the third phase, distribution. Now, once the third phase is completed, what is going to happen? The market will enter into the fourth phase. And in this one, we can clearly see higher lows, sorry, lower lows, lower highs. This is lower high and lower lows. Also, there is a proper correction. So see this point, this mark is what we call a correction in this one. Lower high, lower low with a proper correction. That is the pattern of fourth phase. So from this point, the fourth phase started. Okay, and you can clearly see all these things are lower highs only till here. Okay, and this is lower low. What happened after that? After that, the market went sideways for a few months, but still you need to understand that we are still in the fourth phase because the market, the pattern is still the same. The market is making a lower high and a lower low. That is the pattern, right? Till here, see this point, everything is good this point, right? Because it is still making a lower high. Okay, and the market could have easily gone down from this point. Okay, but what happened here? The market went up and then it made a higher high. Now you can compare this high from right here or from this one, doesn't matter, but the market is making a higher high. And if the market is in the fourth phase, it should make a lower high. Why it's making a higher high? So basically the market is shifting the pattern, and once the market shifts a pattern or it is not following the pattern of the previous phase, that means that phase has ended. So at this point we can say that a fourth phase has ended. That means a one market cycle is completed. Now I have one question for you guys, and before even that, let me tell you one more thing. What happens after the market completes a fourth phase? Okay, so let's say if a one market cycle is completed, all the four phases are completed, what happens after that? Always remember that all these market phases, they move in cycle. Okay, they always move in cycle. So I have a question for you guys. You can use chat for the answers. Okay, so now can you tell me what is this phase? Depending on whatever information we have gathered or whatever topics we have discussed till now, can you tell me what is this phase? Okay, right, see, it's an accumulation phase. Now why? Because yeah, you don't have to remember them, you can just say first one. Now why? Because even right here, the market is not making any kind of a higher high or even any kind of a lower. The low is 3,000 right here, but it still is stopped around 4,000, 3,800, something like that. So this one is the accumulation. Now, depending on this knowledge, let's remove everything. Now, this is accumulation, great. What do you think about this market now? This will be interesting. There are, whereas there are four phases, okay, accumulation, markup, buyer zone, uptrend, okay, anyone else? There are four phases, remember: accumulation, markup, distribution, downtrend. Anymore? Downtrend. Okay. High trend. Okay, that's a different thing. Markup. Okay. I think it's still uptrend. Okay. 80 years downtrend. Great, great. So we have quite a few answers. Okay, great. Now let me tell you. See, this is actually a second phase. First of all, okay, it looks very different, I know, but this is the second phase. Okay, now why it's a second phase? Because depending on, and we will uh, of course by using this knowledge we can clearly see after first phase the second phase always comes. Okay, and I will tell you why the third phase is not here, why there is only still a second phase. We will talk about psychology also, so don't worry about that, your answers will be cleared. But this is a markup stage. Now you can say, but Yash, it's not looking the same to me. Like, see, in the markup phase right here was different. Market is making higher highs, higher lows. It's very clear. And the correction, okay. But in this one, it's not looking the same. Absolutely correct. It's not looking same because, and okay, so to understand this point, why it's not looking the same, we have to understand the different type of market cycle. So there are different type of market cycle also. Now, you need to understand first and foremost that Bitcoin or the whole crypto market is very young. We only have a data of 14 years from 2008 to 2022. Okay, so we only have a data of 14 years, and with by using this 14 years, we have to make a understanding about the market or something about the market at least. Okay, and as a trader, as I said, we try to find out patterns. So let's understand different types of market cycle, and then we'll talk about the psychology. Okay, and then we'll open the class for the questions. So there are two different types of market cycle. First and second, and let's make a line right here. The first market cycle is very simple. Sideways movement, accumulation, markup, parabolic move, and downtrend. Okay, we all know this one, I think. So in each market cycle, we have 4 phases. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what we call a one peak market cycle. This type of market cycle has only one peak. Now we have a different second type of market cycle. So we have accumulation, and then we have a little bit aggressive markup phase. Little bit aggressive markup phase. And then a correction. Then maybe a market will move up. Okay, now this is the first peak, that is the first peak that we have. Now anything can happen from this point. The market can move up, so that will become a second peak, or the market can take its time and then it can move up, and then a downtrend. So basically this is peak one peak. This is second peak. So this is what we call a 2 peak market cycle, and then a downtrend. So 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. I believe we are currently around this area, but I can be wrong. It can be something like this, let's say, and then it will move up. Okay, but the overall logic is that we have to see one more peak. Okay, now the second peak can be around 100k or it can be around 150k, we don't know. Okay, but there has to be a second peak in this market cycle. Okay, and I also tell you why, not because I am saying it, because we have a data for it, and we have different traders, or you can say world-class traders, who are understanding or studying the market in that range. You might have heard about stock to flow model or 200-week moving average models. If not, then we sometime we will discuss in the future if we have time. Okay, so this is a 2 peak market cycle. 2 types of market cycle: 1 peak market cycle and 2 peak market cycle. Currently we are in the 2 peak market cycle, this type of market cycle. Okay, but you can say, but if you look at the history of Bitcoin, can you find this type of market cycle? Yes, you can, because see, in the currently we are in the fourth market cycle of Bitcoin. Okay, so this is, let's say this is the first market cycle, then we have the second market cycle like this, then we had our third market cycle, and currently we are somewhere around here. It will move something like this: first, second, third, and current one. Each market cycle has 4 phases: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. This is actually not true. This one is 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 again, and same thing. Right, this one. The first market cycle was 1. The second market cycle was 2 peak market cycle C. The third market cycle was 1 peak market cycle, and the current market cycle, we are predicting it to be a 2 peak market cycle. Okay. Now the first market cycle is started from 2008, 2009 to 2012, if I am not wrong. Then from 2012 to 2015, then from 2015 to mid of 2019, as we discussed right now. And the next market cycle, when it will end, we don't know. It can take much more time. Okay. Now let's see the same information on the real chart. Then it will make more sense to you guys. And for that, actually, we have to use a different chart. Let's go to the weekly. And so we have a data from 2012 to till now. So let's use a log chart. Okay, great. See, in this one, we have a data from 2012 to today, right? So that means we don't have a data from 2008 to 2012. So the first market cycle, we don't have a data of first market cycle. Okay, but we do have a data of second market cycle, third market cycle, and the fourth market cycle, which is the current market cycle, you can see. So let's divide this chart into 3 parts. Second market cycle, third market cycle, and the current market cycle. Okay. Now you can clearly see in the second market cycle, see these 2 peaks. In third market cycle, there was only 1 peak. In the current market cycle, you can easily see this first peak, and the market might move and make a new high, and then it might go down. Okay, so the 1 peak and 2 peak. Okay, so that's why we are seeing a different type of movement in the market right now, and that's why people are still confused. But still, we are bullish. We are in the second phase, and sooner or later, now it can take up to 8 months or 1 year or maybe 1.5 years, but sooner or later you will find out that the market will start to move in the upward direction. Of course, we have a news related to this stuff because the world war is also not the world war, but the war between Ukraine and Russia is happening right now, and it will impact the market. But we need to see what happens next. Okay, great. So I think now it's clear why we are seeing a different pattern in this graph at this point, but still we are in the markup phase. Okay, now before we have a few minutes left, what we can do is we can understand the psychology behind this thing. All this, the psychology behind all the phases. Okay. Now, why the psychology is important? Okay. Why the psychology is important is because, let's say if you want to trade a chart, or if you want to invest or whatever, you need to understand what other people are thinking about the market. And depending on their thinking, you can make your judgment. If other people are greedy, then you might become more greedy or you might sell. It depends on you. If other people are becoming panic, then you might become panic, or you might become an investor, or you buy something at that point. It depends, but you need to understand what other people are thinking. Okay, that's right. So let's understand all these 4 phases and the psychology behind it. So I have to ask just one more question from you guys. Okay, so see, can you tell me, so let's say we are the first phase, okay, and the first phase accumulation, all of us know that. Let's say if the market is moving sideways in the first phase, that we already know. Now, as an investor, think about it. As an investor, are you going to invest in a coin or in a market which is just moving sideways from last 6 months? Okay, so will you invest in this kind of market which is just moving sideways? Think about it and then write the answer. Okay, no. Anyone? Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. See, now it's a mixed answers, but it's good. It's good. Okay. Okay. Now I have enough answers. See, market is moving sideways. Great. You know, as you are seeing that people are scared, you know that the second stage is going to come because now you have understanding about the market phases. So that means you know. Okay. But if you are an investor, then you have to wait for the confirmation. Okay, you want to have some kind of confirmation that the market is moving from accumulation to markup. Why? Because in accumulation phase the market can move sideways for 6 months, or maybe for 1 year, or maybe for 2 years. Who knows how much time it will take? Okay, so now if you are investing right here at this point, for example, now you are getting no returns for the next 2 years or next 1 year. You don't want that kind of conditions. Okay, so what you will do is you will wait for the breakout, or you will wait for the pattern change. Okay, most of the investors, when they see this kind of chart which is just moving sideways, they become passive about the market. They don't want to invest in the market, and that's why you will never see a there are some believers in blockchain. Let's say if you are saying that, okay, but I'm a believer of Bitcoin, I know that market is going to move up, then you might accumulate. That's the name right there, accumulation. Okay, but if you are not a believer and you are just here to make money in crypto, then you will wait for the proper breakout. Okay, now what is going to happen sooner or later, because of the core believers of Bitcoin, because of the new investors coming in, because of the more education about the market, sooner or later the market will enter into the markup phase. Okay, and what happens in markup phase? The market starts to move up. Great, we already know that. Now let's say you are investing right here. You are investing in the market right here, and after 2 months, you have made, at this point, you have made a profit of 100% just by investing in the market. Okay, you have made a profit of 100%. Great, very good, well done. Okay, now understand this point, and it's a human psychology. Okay, whenever we make a right decision in our life, okay, just make sure. Okay, whenever you make a right decision in your life, you share that information with your close friend and with your family. Now what is a good life decision? Now it can be a good marriage, it can be a good entrance into a good college, it can be you might be looking for a job and you got the job and it's a good job, that is also a good decision. Or you might be a very good student and you ranked like 1 or 2 in the class or college. That's all, these things are good things, right? Or you might be buying a Ferrari or something like that, or maybe a small car, whatever. Okay, but these are all good life decisions, right? So whenever you make this kind of, or whenever you achieve this kind of things, you share that information with your friends and with your family. That is the true thing for all of us. Okay, everyone does the same thing. Why we do it? That is the question. And now most of you will think that because my family will be happy, my friends will be happy. It's a wrong answer, because it makes you happy. That's why you are sharing those information. Okay, not because the other people are being happy for that. You are sharing those information because you want to be more happy, and you want to tell the society that, okay, I am above you in the hierarchical order. Okay, it's a hierarchy is everywhere, and understand this point. Even in your close friends, in your family members, in your whatever you sit and eat, right? You have a hierarchy in your friends. Someone is more richer than you, someone is less richer than you. Okay, someone has a more precious bike or an important bike, or maybe you have a suitor, right? So the hierarchy is everywhere, and whenever you share this kind of information, you want to tell them, okay, that I am above you in the hierarchical order. Okay, it's the same thing with everyone, and that's why you're going to share this information. Now what is going to happen once you share this information, that okay, I have made this kind of money and I have used this kind of application, I have invested in, let's say I've invested in dot, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever. Okay, so now what is going to happen, your close friend and your family members will come to you and they will ask questions that how they can do the same thing just like you. Okay, and of course now you are above in the society level, so you will answer their questions. That's how it works. If someone is above you, or you always ask questions from them and you will answer them. You will say, okay, just download WazirX, put this much amount of money, do P2P, or just put UPI, or just an NEFT, you can use anything, right? You will answer them all the questions and then they will invest in the market. Great. So what we are doing combinedly, all of us, what we are doing is we are increasing the trust in the market. And because of that, more and more people are joining in the market. Even this class right now, what I am doing, whatever I have gathered in the last 6 years, I'm sharing it with you guys. Okay, I'm sharing it with you, and you might share it with your friends and family members. Okay, what we are doing combinedly, we are increasing the trust in the market. And that's why more and more people are coming and investing in the market. And that's what the market capitalization is increasing. Okay, great. Now there's one more thing. So let's say you have all the information about the market, 100% information. You will share that information with your friend. So now, of course, once you share some kind of information, there's always some less of some, you can say some degradation in the information or some loss of information. Okay, so even if I am sharing you right now, I have 100%, but you at the end of the class you might have only 90% information. Okay, maybe you are busy somewhere, you are doing multitasking, maybe, or something like that. Okay, but there is always going to be a loss of information. So now your friend has a 90% information. Now he will share the same information with someone, so that guy has a 80% information, and so on and so on. So the last guys will have 20% information, okay, and 10% information. Now what is going to happen once the market starts to move up or goes parabolic? Generally these guys who has very less information, they are going to purchase tokens. And always remember, less information, or you can say half information, is more dangerous than no information. If you have no information about the market, you will never even think about investing in the market. But even if you have a little bit information, then you will think about, okay, then you will say, okay, if I know how to download WazirX or any other app, and I know how to put money, then I will just buy a random coin, right? I mean, I can do that because I don't understand how the market cycle functions. I don't understand how the market phases moves, or what is the psychology behind it, right? I don't know anything. I just have a small portion of information. I know how to download and how to put my money. That's all. Okay. So these guys, they will have that kind of information, and then that's why they are buying at the top, because they don't have knowledge that what we have discussed till now. Okay. So this is what greed, FOMO, fear of missing out, or you can say greed. Okay. Now what will happen? Guys like us who know how the market moves now, as the market enter into the third phase, we are the one who will start exiting. We will start selling our tokens at this point, particularly right here. And when I'm saying guys like us, I mean to say financial institutions, banks, billionaires, all the big players are going to sell their tokens at the top of the market cycle. And then what is going to happen? The market is going to fall. As the market going to fall, because now the big money has exited the market is going to definitely fall. As the market is going to fall, these guys who bought at the top, now they will start selling, because they will become panic. Why they have bought it here? because they have very less information and they are greedy. Why they are selling? Because now the market is moving down and they will become more and more panic about the market. So, and because of that, basically the fourth phase will start, which is markdown, and the market will drop. And this is a phase of panic. Okay. One more thing. To go from third phase to the fourth phase, it is just a self-fulfilling prophecy. It has to happen. We don't know when it is going to happen, but it will happen. That is for sure. Because the market cannot move in a single direction for a long period of time. I told you it's an unhealthy market. So the market will move down and it will try to correct itself because it's a nature. Okay, it is based on human emotions. That's why. Okay. So of course, panic will happen. People will lose money. Great. One more thing. Everyone can get rich in the markup stage. If you are in the markup stage and you are buying any kind of token, you can buy any token, okay, and you will make profit out of it. You can put any kind of money anywhere in the third stage also, and you will make profit out of it. But 70 to 80% people will lose money in the markdown stage. It sounds cruel, it sounds bad, it sounds sad, you can say, but we want them to lose. That's the market, like that's how it moves, right? Market is a zero-sum game. We are not creating wealth for anyone. We are exchanging wealth. So if you are profitable, that means someone is in loss. And if you are in loss, that means someone is profitable. Understand this point. Market is a zero-sum game. We are not creating any kind of wealth in the market. If you are profitable, then someone is in loss. If someone is in loss, then you are profitable. It can happen simply. Okay. And that's why I said we want people to lose. If you want to become profitable, then you want other people to lose. Simple. And when you put your money on the line, you are agreeing to this terms and condition. No one is going to tell you this thing. Okay. You are agreeing to the same terms and conditions in this age. Okay. Now, of course, once most of the people will lose money, what is going to happen? They will say crypto is a scam. It should be regulated. It's highly volatile and blah blah blah. Okay, and then the market will start moving sideways, and these people will become passive because they are seeing a crash and then a sideways movement. That's why. Okay, that's why they are going to become passive. Then of course, after that, the cycle will continue. There's one more thing. This kind of information or this information, it is based on the previous 14 years data. What I believe for the next 10 or to 15 years, this information is going to be valid. But after that, there is going to be a significant change in the market because the overall cryptocurrency market is maturing with time. Okay, and that's why we will see different type of things. Great. So now that we have understood about the psychology, and there's one more thing. It will take a few minutes only, but just remember, all this thing, it is applicable for the top 50 to 60 coins, not for all the coins. Okay, all this thing. There is one more thing which I can discuss with you guys. See, I told you we can talk about one topic for long enough. Okay, there's one more thing. So you will never see a third phase after first. Okay, this is never going to happen. This thing is not going to happen. And the reverse is also not going to happen. So you will never see a first phase after third phase. Okay, why? Let me give you the answer. Let's say you are angry on someone. Okay, I think most of you understand Hindi, I believe. So अगर आप किसी पे गुस्सा हो, for example, बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा हो, okay, so you are angry on that person right now, and he is your close friend, your family member, let's say, okay, and right now you are very angry on him, okay. Even at this point, if he tells you the best joke in the world, you won't laugh. What will happen? You won't laugh. You are angry at this point. Great. Now you might go for a coffee, you might go and watch some Netflix, you might go read some book, and after 1 or 2 hours, if the same guy comes to, because he is a family member or close friend, if it comes to you, and at this point, if it tells you even a PJ poor joke or a worse joke, you might smile. You might smile, or maybe you will laugh. You can't be just angry on that guy because he is your close friend. Okay, but to go, and these emotions are opposite. Angriness and laugh, let's say smile, laugh, it's a opposite emotions. You cannot shift from one emotion to the next emotion within a quick seconds. You cannot be angry and smiling within a quick span of seconds. Okay, you need some a different time, or your buffer time, you can see, or the different zone, you can see. The same thing applies right here. Right now, in the first phase, you are passive. You cannot just become greedy within 1 or 2 months. You have to go through the phase of trust, and then you will become greedy. Okay, and by applying the same logic, I can say you will never see a fourth phase after the second one, and the second phase after the fourth one. You cannot just say I am trusting this guy right now, and now you are not trusting it. Now you are becoming panic about it within just few months. You cannot say those things. You have to become greedy, and then you have to experience something. Then you will become panic about the market, right? Okay. So now this information is for top 10 to 20% of the coins. So mostly 50-60 coins are going to follow these things. The remaining coins are going to be a little bit different. So what I mean to say, the remaining 80 to 90% of the coins, they can go from one phase to another phase. For example, Dogecoin, let's say. Dogecoin was moving sideways in the month of January 2021. And then Elon Musk tweeted about it. And then it went parabolic. So basically, it goes from phase 1 to phase 3, right? Because this coin had a very low market capitalization at that point. Also, because it went up. Why? Because it has an external factor, external push from Elon Musk. Now it's a big influential in the tech community, of course. So whatever he says, people are going to react to it. Okay, so this is an example of Doge. In this case, the market went from 1 to 3. Okay, and I can give you one more example. Have you heard about BitConnect? Because I mean, there was a classic scam in 2018, BitConnect, and most of the I think people lost around $2 billion in those scams. So what happened? There was a scam called BitConnect. You can Google about it. You will find some memes and some videos about it. The market was moving up. The coin of BitConnect was moving up and up, and then the website stopped working. Boom, the market went down. So basically, in this case, the market went down from second phase to the fourth phase directly. Why? Because of the external pressure, and the market capitalization was also low at that point. So just a thumb rule: top 60 coins, top 70 coins, good enough. This will follow. You will never see a third phase after first phase, and you will never see a second phase after fourth phase, and vice versa. The remaining coins are going to follow these phases until or unless an external factor affects it. Okay, that is the 80 to 90% of the coins. Okay, great. So with this, we have completed the topic market phases.